Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Siddharth Zarabi and we are at the GOAFEST' at the Business Today TV setup here at the mini studio as part of the India Today Group's involvement at GOAFEST'. And with me today, one of India's most awarded creative minds, Josy Paul, the chairman of BBDO India. Josy, welcome. This is the first conversation of many that we hope to have here. And Goa at this time of the year, hot. Yeah. But how's the action in the media, advertising, creative fraternity at this time of the year, Josy?
I think there's greater sweat there than right now in the Goa weather. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of action and I'm sure a lot of aggression as well. Okay. So
I thought I'm going to ask you who is sweating. Is it the advertiser who is sweating because of some signs of economic weakness?
No, I think it's just the seizing of the opportunity and the optimism that's there. So I don't think it's coming from a negative place. It's coming from this need to quickly get into the action and seize things.
Okay. And what are the opportunities that people are looking to seize at this time of the year? We don't have to tell our viewers how business and life and society has changed over the last 2 years, starting with COVID, then all manner of economic troubles, the Ukraine war and everything else.
Yeah. So I think there is a sudden sense of, freedom of being a little more normal, or whatever you call the new normal. And before anything else happens, there's a need to sort of seize what is normal right now and max it.
And what is normal right now?
What is normal is that people are seeking communication in a new way and the mind is extremely open and there's a sense that there can be rising, sales or people's inclination to buy stuff, or whether it's even if you're not buying things, buy into an ideology, or more important, to listen, all these things.
Are you saying that people, buyers are willing to experiment and experience across new platforms rather than just trad media?
Yes, because as the sort of demographics gets younger, the willingness to try new things is increased. So we are finding, even if it comes to media and communication, we are finding greater conversations around our work than ever before, which I think is a sign of that.
You once had famously said that you create acts and you don't create ads. In a post-digital world, really, I think digital started many years back. We've only realized now. I would like to call it the post-digital world. And younger people, like you said, are digital native. They are born within that. They think within that. How would you reinterpret this? Or would you at all? Would you use a different tagline instead of create acts and not ads?
I think, it's become even more relevant because if you look at the world around us, more and more communication is doing its action first and then talking about it. Because I think consumers, especially younger consumers, are saying, show me, don't tell me. And they want to see proof. It's like somebody says, let me see if you really love me. Don't promise. Show me the engagement ring. So the engagement ring is like the act, right? So young people are saying, show me your action to show that you really mean your words. And which is why you find more and more brands or more and more companies going out and doing things first.
Give me an example, if you can relate any example for our viewers to.
So years ago, we had done a campaign, 2015, called Touch the Pickle, which was an action-oriented campaign for this brand Whisper. And Whisper is really, it's a sanitary napkin. And here's a brand that created a platform where women could come and challenge period taboos that were not relevant anymore. And so when we created that platform for action, the way women came forward to discuss and, sort of champion it was quite amazing. And and in a new world, there's a lot more happening, I think.
In this new world, Do you see a demand or a requirement for more women-centric advertising? Because both as consumers, there is an increase, there is an improvement in economic ability of many women. A long way to go, but there is change at the ground level, Josy.
Well, we're seeing that, right? It's not something that I need to say. We are seeing, a lot of new sort of advertising and communication that is really sort of supporting and encouraging women to do new things, whether it's getting out of the kitchen and, finding their own identity or many other things. So it's not something that is new. It's been going on for a while now.
When you started off as an entrepreneur around 15 years back, and I was reading that you basically started in a car, the world was different and the world is very different now. What does it take to create a smart brand, a winning brand, both in the Indian context and overseas in the digital age?
So firstly, I must say that I may have started the company in India, but it's a worldwide company. BBDO is a global network.
Absolutely.
And I was given that opportunity to set it up in India. And I started it out in a car because I didn't want to do what I'd done before. And I said, if I can have, 9 months of pregnancy for myself, then I can understand what's going on in the world. So I sat in coffee shops, listening to people, understanding where the world is going. And that's how we rearranged the way that we worked.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you shared that with our viewers.
Yeah. So, and then immediately after that, the first campaign was a campaign called Women Against Lazy Stubble for Gillette. Gillette was thinking we'd come with a film, a 30-second film. But we didn't come with a 30-second film. We came with a very interactive idea that created a movement where women said, yeah, we agree. We love clean-shaven men. 77% women said they prefer clean-shaven men. And that took off. That platform, Women Against Lazy Stubble, became massive. And it, of course, it won the world's first Creative Effectiveness Award, won the Creative Effectiveness Awards for P&G Global, because the growth was incredible.
But equally, are the ads that for men's grooming kits that allow you to shave beards, keep them trimmed, are they equally effective?
So I think clean is a feeling. So if it's well kept, I'm sure that's part of clean.
I digress. Let's come back to the point about attention spans. You said 30 seconds. There would be people who would say that today on any social platform, the first 4 seconds make or break you.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, so that's an important finding, and global players have been talking about that. But we're also finding the opposite is true. We've just done a film for Ariel, Share the Load, which is a very touching story of a father who realized that he's been doing something wrong. And it's a 4-minute film. And it's got over 125 million views. And the cut through where, people don't skip, but they see the whole thing, is almost triple that of the reference point.
Wow.
So we are finding that if it truly connects with you and it's something that is part of your life for people like me, it tends to, you hang on to it.
Since we spoke about women-centric, I wanted to ask you this question 4 minutes back, but I'm coming back to that point. If you were to do a campaign around the Chipko movement and how our women saved our trees, what would you, top of mind right now, how would you do it?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do anything. I would just do a documentary of it. I would not come in the way of it. I would be invisible. I would just be, a camera, a pro cam, whatever you call it, out there. Don't do anything. Just capture what is happening. And through that, there'll be authenticity, because the voices of those women are far more real than what I can bring in.
Brand India. Today, the kind of imagery that India has versus 50 years back, 30 years back, I'm sure you've been asked this question. But today, what's the story that Brand India should be telling? the world?
That's a big question, man. People pay a lot of money for that kind of answer.
Oh, okay.
Also, I think it requires, it can't be a pat answer.
Okay.
It requires a lot of listening, yeah.
Sure.
And,
And that's what you have done. I'm actually quite amazed when you said that you sat in coffee shops and why you started off in that car. Thanks for sharing with. One quick final point as we wrap this conversation. For our viewers, and because there's a lot of consumption that happens across platforms, but overall, what is the shift in the advertising landscape looking like? There is this argument, which you must have also heard as a creative person, that in India, print is also surviving, television is also thriving, digital is also there, although some people question ROI. So how would you answer that question?
I think that's a great question. I think India is a land of coexistence here. And mediums are actually helping each other. And we're finding that something here amplifies somewhere else. So when we did, for example, a front page print ad for WhatsApp, we saw that it was actually going digitally viral because somebody just grabbed a photo of it and it moves across mediums. So the beauty of this symbiotic relationship is most true especially in India, where I think not just in media but in life we coexist in a very interesting way.
And in India, it's very difficult for the winner takes all effect across sectors and industries. Quick final point. How this kind of behavior that we just spoke about, which is the other country that most closely resembles us in this regard?
I think the US does. Okay. The US does because of its multi-ethnicity and, it seems to have the same sort of behavior, whether it's about the military, whether it's about sports, whether it's about nationalism, whether it's about
melting pot,
opportunity, all these things. I feel the US tends to have a lot of similarities, and we are only saying this because that's as much media as we can get for us to understand. Maybe there are smaller parts of the world where there is a similar sort of behavior, but it's not coming through to us yet because media has not sort of allowed us to see that or has not distributed it.
But a lot came through in this conversation. Josy, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure, man. You're too good, man. Really.
I enjoyed that conversation, viewers. I hope you did that too with one of the finest creative minds in India. With that, it's a wrap on this conversation. We'll be back with more. Till then, do stay tuned in. Bye-bye.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.